Let's see. So I'm live on both. Okay. All right. Cool. So we are going to chapter 2 now. I'm going to tell y'all, I had a whole lot of highlights in chapter 2. Y'all thought chapter 1 was good. Wait till you hear this. I'm not live on Instagram. I should have went live on Instagram. You want me to go live on Instagram? I can go live on Instagram. Let's go live on Instagram too. Why not? I don't have a holder for this phone though. I can just put it up over here though. Let's see. Live. Title. The Club, The Untethered Soul. That did not type Untethered. I don't know what the hell that was. Chapter 2. All right. Hello, hello. I'm good. How are y'all? All right. So now we're live on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Oh, look, I can put you guys right there. That works perfect. Hey, if they can hear me okay, though. Can somebody go over to Instagram? Yeah, I just jumped on. I was busy. Okay, so somebody jump on Instagram and tell me if you can hear me okay over there. What's up, Best? Can you hear me okay? I just need to make sure the audio is good over there. So I've got 3 different setups going on here. So we're doing The Untethered Soul is the book that we're reading right now as part of our book club for the We Rise Above tribe. You can join me on TikTok and have the conversation, or YouTube, or on Instagram. So hello, hello, hello. This is cool. You can hear good? Okay, good, because I didn't have a stand, so you're actually on the computer. So I wasn't sure it was going to work. All right, are y'all ready? It feels so weird not having any background music. Maybe I could do, I don't want sleepy time music, but I don't know. All right, no questions right now, TikTok. We're doing book club at noon, okay? All right, so we're talking about the inner roommate. Yesterday we talked about being the observer of our thoughts, understanding that the inner voice is not us. The thoughts that we hear are just clouds in the sky. We are the sky. We're watching those clouds pass by. We don't need to give them all of our attention. We don't need to pay attention to every single thought. And we can ignore those thoughts. We can just sit back and observe. Okay, well, that's happening, right? And not identify as those thoughts and be confused because we're then arguing with ourselves, right? You're the one that's hearing the thoughts. You're not the one thinking the thoughts, or you wouldn't be hearing the thoughts. You would be thinking the thoughts, right? You can teach yourself how to think, right? All right, so here we go. Your inner roommate is what we're talking about today. Your inner growth is completely dependent upon the realization that the only way to find peace and contentment is to stop thinking about yourself. You're ready to grow when you finally realize, oh, we got paused over here on Instagram due to poor connection. We'll try to turn on Wi-Fi. All right, I turned on Wi-Fi for IG, so hopefully that fixes y'all. Let me know if it doesn't. No, it's pausing again. May not work on IG. Join me on TikTok or YouTube if it keeps going out on IG, okay? TikTok or YouTube, same channel. I rise above everywhere. All right, so you're ready to grow when you finally realize that the I who is always talking inside will never be content. It always has a problem with something. Honestly, when was the last time that you really had nothing bothering you? Before you had your current problem, there was a different problem. And if you're wise, you'll realize that after this one's gone, there will be another one. The bottom line is you'll never be free of problems until you're free from the part of you within you that has so many problems. So when a problem is disturbing you, don't ask, what should I do about it? Take that out of your vocabulary, okay? Instead, you're going to ask, what part of me is being disturbed by this? If you ask what I should do about it, you've already fallen into the path of believing there really is a problem outside of you that must be dealt with. If you want to achieve peace in the face of your problems, you must respond and understand to why you perceive a particular situation as a problem. If you're feeling jealousy, instead of trying to see how you can protect yourself, just ask, what part of me is jealous? This will cause you to look inside and see that there's a part of you that's having a problem with jealousy. So I'm going to read my highlights from this page because these were the things that stood out to me. This is the fourth time I've read this book, and these things hit me every time, okay? If you happen to have a if you have a breakthrough moment, please share. But if you have a moment where it's a mic drop moment, something really hits you, please drop a mic in the comments. Put the comment in there. Tell us what it is that hit you, why it resonated with you. Let's talk, okay? So the first thing that I have highlighted in chapter 2 is the only way to find peace and contentment is to stop thinking about yourself. When a problem is disturbing you, don't ask the question, what should I do about it? Instead, ask, hey, what's bothering me about this? Not what should I do about it, but what is it within me that's actually triggered right now? Get curious about your triggers, okay? If you want to achieve peace in the face of your problems, you must understand why it's bothering you in the first place. All right, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? Because this page is good. All right, so once you clearly see the disturbed part, then you're going to ask, who sees this? Who notices this inner disturbance? And asking this is the solution to your every problem. The very fact that you can see the disturbance means that you are not it. If you can see it, you're not it. Just like yesterday, we talked about the example of like, if I were to bring in a photograph, a book, and a plant, and I said, okay, which one of these is you? You'd be like, none. I'm the observer. I can see it. That's a photograph, that's a book, and that's a plant. I am none of these. I can see those, right? You're not your thoughts either. See how it doesn't feel good to think I am my thoughts? It doesn't feel good. That's letting you know your internal guidance system, your emotional guidance system is letting you know what you just thought is a lie. I am not my thoughts. See how freeing and expansive that feels? Because you're not your thoughts. You can see them. So the very fact that you can see them is the fact that you are not it. The process of seeing something requires a subject and object relationship. The subject is called the witness. You are the witness. Everybody say, I am a witness. I am the witness. Because you are the one who sees what's happening. This act of maintaining objective awareness of the inner problem is always better than losing yourself in the outer situation. I'm going to read that again. This act of maintaining objective awareness, this is something outside of me. It's not me. It may be occurring inside of me, but it's not me. It's occurring within my physical body. It's not me. Because I'm not my body either. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my feelings. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my body. I'm the awareness of, and those are my tools. So let's hear that again. The act of maintaining objective awareness of the inner problem is always better than losing yourself in the outer situation. This is the essential difference between a spiritually minded person and a worldly person. Worldly doesn't mean that you have money or stature. Worldly means that you think that the solution to your problem lies in your external reality. Are you following? You're worldly if you're thinking that your solution lies in your external reality. So you think that if you change things outside of you, that you're going to be okay. But nobody has ever truly become okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. The only real solution is to take the seat of the witness, consciousness, and completely change your frame of reference. That's good, y'all. Take a seat. Take a seat. Observe. Watch what's happening. It's happening for you, not to you. It's coming up to come out. So let's move on to the next paragraph. Basically, that whole thing was highlighted. All right. So to attain true, I'm going to hold this book up here. That's hurting my head to read it down there. To attain true inner freedom, you must be able to objectively watch your problems instead of being lost in them. No solution can possibly exist when you're lost in the energy of the problem. Think about it. When you're triggered by the situation, you can't find a solution there. You've got to bring yourself back to homeostasis, back to home, back to center, back to peace. You've got to find peace through the release of the attachment to the outcome of the situation. You have to be present in the moment and observe what's happening. What am I sensing? What am I feeling? What is my body letting me know right now? And how can I respond? How can I be responsible? You have got to find out your triggers and do that. So every time you're triggered, note it. This is my trigger. Why was I triggered? What's causing me to be triggered? What part of me is bothered by this? Right? You guys did it with me yesterday on live. If you were here yesterday afternoon, we had a real-time processing going through this. Hey guys, welcome in. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate you guys. All right, so you are not able to find a solution if you're in the energy of the problem. Get back up. Find peace within. Ground yourself. Get back in your body. You weren't here? That's okay. That's okay. I have the replay of the book club yesterday, but not the processing part. I don't know if I'll post that. I might. We'll see. All right. So to attain inner freedom, you must be able to objectively watch your problems instead of being lost in them. You are the subject. They are the object. Stop identifying as them. Okay. No solution can possibly exist when you're lost in the energy of a problem. Everyone knows you can't deal well with the situation if you're getting anxious or you're scared or you're angry about it. The first problem you have to deal with is your own reaction. The first problem you have to deal with is what's going on in here, your reaction. So what are your thoughts about whatever just happened that you are latching onto that's causing that emotional reaction? Pause. It ain't got shit to do with what's going on out there. It has everything to do with what's going on in here. Deal with that first, and then you'll know how to deal with that. Okay? So, you will not be able to solve anything outside until you first own how the situation is affecting you inside. Problems are generally not what they appear to be. When you get clear enough, you will realize that the real problem is that there's something inside of you that can have a problem with almost anything. The first step is to deal with that part of you so that you're not a walking trigger. You're not a walking response to a trigger. You're not a walking trauma response, right? So this involves a change. Here's your change. You've got to switch from outer solution consciousness to inner solution consciousness. Everything I have is already within me. All the answers I seek, everything I need with you are the whole self. You are the universe experiencing itself within this physical body. This would be so like if you're having a problem identifying that, going, but that I can't walking along the sand. Visualize with me. Now let's go and let's take a cup. Let's find a cup along the beach. Let's take that cup and let's go scoop some ocean water out. Now let's take that and put it into a jar and let's get home. Now I live in the middle of landlocked Oklahoma. Now if I take that water home and I say, well, this is ocean water, and you say, girl, I know you just got that from the sink. And I say, no, you don't understand. Let me pour it out for you. You can taste it. You can see this is different. It's salt water. It's not tap water. It's the ocean. I'm carrying the ocean within this container. The energy of the ocean is in this container. The energy of the universe is within that container. You are the universe. Flip it and say it in this aspect too, and say, okay, well, then if I say, okay, well, if that one drop isn't the ocean and that water in that cup isn't the ocean and I take you all the way there and that isn't the ocean, well, that would be delusional because I could see you get it from there, right? That would also be delusional for me to say then that sharks don't exist in the ocean because sharks don't exist in this jar of ocean water. I have ocean water right here and there is no shark. So for you to think there is a shark is wrong. Stop the limited belief. Bring yourself back to the understanding that we are all one. Just as much as that drop is a drop of the ocean, you are the universe experiencing itself. Thank you. All right, so let's go back to the book. So you're moving from outer solution consciousness to inner solution consciousness. You have to break the habit of thinking that the solution to your problems is rearranging everything outside of you. You know what I just realized? How often I used to rearrange my furniture and how much I crave to do it here. And I live in an RV now and I can't. But every time something gets out of order and out of chaos, like things are out of chaos into chaos, in my reality, I want to organize and restructure my home. Do you guys do that? Because your home reflects your inner reality just as much as your outer reality reflects it too. Yeah? Mm. So maybe instead of trying to reorganize your outer reality, you can force yourself to be with yourself, to pause and be with your present company, which is you, and feel those feelings and face those shadows. So there is no more shadow or turning within because you faced it. You brought the light to it, which was you. You brought the breath, with breath is life. Breath is light. Breath is love. You're breathing in love and light. It's who you are at your very core. That'd be like the ocean water being returned to the ocean. There is no separation. It's just, and it flows. So let go of the part of you that has a problem with so many things in reality. And once you do that, you'll be clear enough to deal with what's left. There really is a way to let go of the part of you that sees everything as a problem. There is. It may seem impossible, but it's not. There's a part of your inner being that can actually abstract from your own melodrama. You can watch yourself be jealous or angry. See, here's the thing. I always feel like when they say yourself and it's together, or myself and it's together, my brain, I separate that. I see it as separate because it's ownership. I have a self. It's not me. I have a self. You have a self. So that's your self. I'm not identifying as you being yourself. That is yourself, and that's your physical representation, how you're choosing to present yourself in your avatar in this physical reality. But you are not that avatar. You are the soul. You are the being within that. You are the observer. These are your tools. That'd be like saying I'm an electrician and I am a screwdriver. If I said I am this lipstick, y'all be like, you're crazy, right? Okay. So it's not you. Stop identifying as it. You can observe yourself, your physical body, feeling and experiencing anger and not identify as it. You can breathe through it and disconnect from it. Okay? You don't have to think about it, and you don't. You can just be aware of it. Here's an example. You can ask yourself, who notices the changes? When I talk to Tom, it gets me upset. How do you know that it gets you upset? You know that it gets you upset because you are in there. You're in there. And you see what's going on in there. So there's a separation between you and the anger or the jealousy. You are the one who is noticing these things. Once you take the seat of consciousness, take a seat. Because when you want to stand up and fight, you better take a seat. Take a seat and observe, because that ain't you and you're about to fuck it up. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Take a seat. Take a seat of the seat of the soul. Take a seat. That you are aware that you're watching what's going on. It's easy. What you'll notice is that you're watching a human being's personality with all of its strengths and weaknesses, as though there's somebody in there with you too. You might actually say it's your inner roommate. But you own the house, baby. You write the rules. You set the boundaries. You have the guidelines. And you watch. And you either allow or you don't. You either select those thoughts or you don't. That's it. This is serving me and I'm going to go with it because it feels good, or it doesn't and I'm not. Let that go. No, thank you. Next, I'll take better feeling thought. Next, I'll take another one. I don't like that one. Another one. Thank you. Right? All right. So if you'd like to meet your inner roommate, all you got to do is just try sitting with yourself for a while in complete solitude and silence. You have the right. It is your inner domain. It is your home. It's where you reside. It's your temple. Your body is your temple where you reside. Your body is a temple where you reside. You set the boundaries. You set the rules. You set the requirements. You have the right, it's your inner domain, but instead of finding silence, you're actually going to find that you're listening to incessant chatter. Why am I doing this? I have more important things to do. This is a waste of time. Like, there's nobody in here but me. What's this all about anyway? Yeah, right on cue. There's your roommate. There they are. You found them. You met them. You may have clear intention to be quiet inside, but that roommate, they ain't cooperating. And it's not just when you try to be quiet. It has something to say about everything you look at. Oh, I like it. I don't like it. This is good. This is bad. It just talks and talks and talks. And you don't generally notice it because you step back from it. You're so because you don't step back from it. You're so close to it that you're identifying as it. You're actually hypnotized into thinking that it's you. You listen to it all the time. But basically, you're not alone in there. You named her Charlotte. I like it. You're not alone in there. There are two distinct aspects of your inner being. The first is you, the awareness, the witness, the center of your willful intentions. And the other is that which you watch. That's it. So let me say that again. The first, are y'all taking notes? You better be taking notes. You should be taking notes. You should be highlighting if you have a book or taking notes if you don't, because this is life-changing information. I've read this book. This is the fourth time I've read this book. I have never read a book more than twice in my entire life. I've read this book okay, maybe not kid books. When I was a kid, I was pretty obsessed with books and I would hyperfixate on a book and read it over and over, but not like this. Screen recording is great. Screen record, listen to it again. It's also on YouTube. So if you ever want to listen to the whole book, you can go over there. That's okay. No apologies. Never apologize. I'm sorry. It's like weakening your power, your strength. I am are the most powerful words that you can say. Do not ever attach I am to things that you don't want to be, that you don't identify as. Do you identify as sorry? Are you a sorry person? No. So you can say I apologize if necessary for a behavior, a choice, an action that you made, that you took, and you can apologize by taking ownership of that, but not identifying as it. You see? You see the difference? That's a behavior. It's not me. I apologize for a behavior. I take ownership. This is how I understood it could have affected you. But there was no need for an apology there. You were apologizing for interrupting, but you didn't interrupt. Don't apologize for being who you are. Just say, hey, what's the name of this book? It's a great book. It's called The Untethered Soul. I'm on chapter 2. If you missed chapter 1, you can go watch it on YouTube. Linked in my bio. All right. Are you ready? Yeah, I used to all the time. I'm sorry was like, it was literally every sentence out of my mouth had an I'm sorry at the beginning or the end. That's how much I used to apologize for myself. Never anymore. Not like that. Not like that. I'll take ownership for my responsibility of my actions and my choices that may have caused harm to you or been not what I intended them to be. And I'll own up to that. But other than that, I'm not taking that on. You know what I'm saying? So you need to work on it. No, you just replace it right now. You just replace it. You just replace it. And every time you catch yourself, you say, oh, excuse me, I apologize. I don't do that anymore. Right? You can do it. Catch yourself. The more you catch yourself, it works. All right, are y'all ready? Let's get back to the book. All right, so we're living with our roommate, right? All right, it has something to say about everything that you look at. I like it. I don't like it. This is good. That's bad. It just talks and talks, right? You don't generally notice because you haven't stepped back from it. You're so close that you don't realize you're actually being hypnotized into listening to it. Basically, you're not alone in there. Here we go. This is the part I wanted to repeat. I went a little too far back. There are two distinct aspects of your inner being. The first, y'all, you should be writing this out. So the first is you, which is the awareness, the witness, the center of your willful intentions, meaning I was intentional and I wanted to do this. And the other is that which you watch. The problem is the part that you watch never shuts up. If you could get rid of that part, even for a moment, the peace and serenity would be the nicest vacation you've ever had. This is called The Untethered Soul. We're in chapter 2. Chapter 1 was yesterday, and you can go watch it on YouTube, linked in my bio. All right, so imagine what it would be like if you didn't have to bring this thing with you everywhere you go. Real spiritual growth is about getting out of this predicament. But first, you have to realize that you've been locked in there with this maniac. In any situation or circumstance, your roommate could suddenly decide, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to this person. And you would immediately feel tense and uncomfortable. But remember, that's not you. And if you're feeling that way, it is an emotional guidance system that you have within your physical being. When it doesn't feel good, it is letting you know that you, the higher version of you, the big ocean version of you, you're the little drop that's in the jar right now, the higher version of you, the non-physical part of you, the spirit being of you, the one that's thoughts are higher than your thoughts and ways are higher than your ways, God, universe, spirit, Gus, whatever you want to call it, is having a disagreement. What you just thought, your programming that just popped up, your old programming, it's not you, is a lie. That's why it doesn't feel good. Stop, drop into your heart space, find peace within through analyzing, adjusting that thought, flipping the script. What I just think was the exact opposite of that. How does that feel to me? Does that feel good? Does that resonate? Does it feel expansive, alive, and well to me? If so, I'm moving forward with that thought. I'm replacing it. If not, I'm going to keep replacing it with thoughts until I find the one that resonates, and then I can let go of the old thought. It's just old programming. You just have to replace it with a new programming, which is the thought that feels good. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Let me correct that. I don't like understand because we don't stand under anyone or anything. We understand. We understand it. We get it from the inside. We're reading The Untethered Soul, and we're in chapter 2. Chapter 1 is linked in my bio. All right. Are you guys ready? It's on the YouTube channel. Does that make sense? Everybody with me? Yes? Give me some likes. Y'all keep the likes going up. Let's get this stream out there to other people. Let's get people in here. Other people need to hear this message too. We're going to set other people free. You can help change somebody else's life radically by hitting that share button. All right? All right, let's go. So, we're on this page. My bad. Hold on. I'm going to turn the air on. It's like heating up outside and it's getting really hot in here. So I apologize. I'm going to pause the live for 2 seconds. Everybody take a break, get a drink of water, share the live. Tell me where you're watching from, and I'm going to come right back. That'll give y'all something to do. Share the live, tap the screen, and tell me where you're watching from. I'm going to turn the air on. Wait, my foot's asleep. 85 degrees in here. Air flowing in here. Mississippi and New York. Awesome. All right, here we go. How are we doing on time? All right, we got 17 minutes. All right. What's up, Cali? Southern Cali? Okay, so you would immediately feel tense and uncomfortable, right? If your inner roommate starts saying, like, I don't want to be here, I'm uncomfortable, I don't like this, I don't like that person, I don't want to do this. All right, so your roommate can ruin anything you're doing without a moment's notice. It could ruin your wedding day or even your wedding night. That part of you could ruin anything and everything, and it generally does, right? Ear ringing. So you buy a brand new car and it's beautiful, okay? But every time you drive it, your inner roommate finds something wrong with it. The mental voice keeps pointing out every little squeak, every little vibration, every little thing until eventually you don't even like that car anymore. Once you see what this can do to your life, then you are ready for spiritual growth. You're ready for real transformation when you finally say, look at this thing. This is ruining my life. I am trying to live a peaceful life, a meaningful existence, but I feel like I'm sitting on top of a fucking volcano. I added the fucking. At any moment, this thing can decide to freak the fuck out, close down, and fight with what's happening. One day it doesn't like someone, and the next day it decides to pick up on everything that they do and say, or excuse me, one day it likes someone, the next day it picks on everything that they do. My life is a mess just because this thing lives in here with me, and it has to make this freaking melodrama out of everything. But once you've seen this and you learn to no longer identify with your roommate, that's when you're ready for yourself. We do readings at 1. If you haven't reached this awareness yet, try to just watch. Just watch, okay? Spend a day watching every single thing your roommate does. Start in the morning and see if you can notice what it's saying in every situation. Every time you meet somebody, every time your phone rings, every time, just watch. A good time to watch is while you're taking a shower. Just watch what that voice has to say. You will see that it never lets you just take a peaceful shower. Your shower is for washing the body, not for watching the mind talk nonstop. That for me, I was like, holy fuck. I always thought shower time is my time to process, I guess, because my brain just doesn't stop. And then I got to process before I go to sleep at night because my brain just doesn't stop. Nah, dude. I just need to stop giving it the attention. I need to stop paying it any mind. I need to stop giving it my attention because that's costing me my peace. That cost me too much. That cost too much. All right. See if you can stay conscious enough throughout the entire experience so that you can be aware of what's going on. You'll be shocked by what you see. It just jumps from one subject to the next, to the next, and to the next. The incessant is so neurotic that you won't believe that it's always that way, but it is. So you have to watch this if you want to be free of it. You don't have to do anything about it. This is that whole let go and let God. It's saying, I don't have to physically, my 3D reality, I don't have to figure anything out. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to rearrange anything. I don't have to manipulate anything. All I got to do is surrender. Let go of the attachment to these thoughts and the idea that these are me, and instead observe and just let it flow. Because when I just observe, that's me connecting back to source. It's me plugging back in, which is me, plugging into me, the higher version of me that knows all and is all through me. And I allow myself just to be, and I focus on my breath. That's where you receive the intuitive insight, the downloads, the visions, the insight of how to move forward. You don't have to do it. You don't have to figure it out yourself. All you have to do is focus on your breath. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a free healing session linked in my bio. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the link, there is a free healing session also linked on my YouTube. And it also will walk you through the definition of what it means to actually breathe. You have no idea what you're actually doing when you breathe. But if you go back to the definition of the word and you understand what it actually means, to breathe in, to inhale, is to receive inspiration. Inspiration is the ability or the know-how to do something. So you will get the download to know what to do about something. And to exhale is to release vapor. That, by definition, is a sudden feeling of anxiousness or a state of depression. You can relieve yourself from anxiety and depression through your breath. You set yourself free through your breath. Breath is life. When you are breathing, you are receiving. When you are exhaling, you are releasing. You are releasing and setting yourself free from the mental prison of which you were trained to be in. It's good stuff, y'all. It's good stuff. Keep tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live. All right. How are we doing on time? We got 12 minutes. We're gonna finish this. All right. We got like 4 pages left. Okay. This one is just so good. This is so good. Okay, where are we? You You don't have to do anything about it, right? You just watch, okay? So the way that you catch on to what your inner roommate is really like is to personify it externally. Make believe that your roommate, the psyche, has a body of its own, okay? You do this by taking the entire personality that you hear talking to you inside and you imagine it as a person talking to you on the outside. Just imagine that another person is saying everything that your inner voice is saying to you. Now spend a day with that person. You've just sat down to watch your favorite TV show. The problem is you have this person with you. Now you'll get to hear the same incessant monologue that used to be inside of you, except now it's sitting next to you on the couch talking to itself. Did you turn off the light downstairs? You better go check. Not now. I'll do it later. I want to finish watching the show. No, do it now. That's why the electric bill is so high. You just sat in silent awe watching all of this, okay? Then a few seconds later, your couchmate is engaged in another dispute over there arguing with them damn selves, right? Hey, now I want to go get something to eat. I'm craving some pizza. No, you cannot have pizza now. It is far. We ain't driving there. But I'm hungry. Well, so when am I going to get to eat? When am I going to get to eat? See, it's already on to something else, right? So to your amazement, these neurotic bursts of conflicting dialogue just keep going on and on. See, that's the thing. It's conflicting dialogue. And if that's not enough, instead of simply watching TV, this person starts verbally reacting to whatever's coming on the screen as well. So at one point, after a redhead appears on, starts mumbling about their ex-spouse and a painful divorce, and then the yelling starts, just as though the ex-spouse were in the room with you. Then it stops just as suddenly as it started. So at this point, you find yourself hugging the far corner of the couch in a desperate attempt to get as far away from this disturbed person as you possibly can. Will you dare to do this experiment? Who's doing this experiment? Are you going to observe yourself as a roommate? We're reading The Untethered Soul. Are you going to observe your inner critic, the inner voice that's not you? Can you observe it for 24 hours? Who's down? Are you down? Put I'm down. So at this point, you're hiding, right? You're on the side of the couch trying to get away from this thing. Will you dare to do this experiment? Don't try to make the person stop talking. Okay? They're your roommate. Let them be. Just let them be. Stop trying to control. Just let them be. Just try to get to know what you have lived with inside by externalizing the voice. So you're going to give it a body and you're going to get it out in the outside world just like everybody else. You're going to let it be a person who says on the outside exactly what the voice on the inside has been saying. Now, make that person your best friend. Y'all say hell no. After all, how many friends do you spend all of your time with and pay absolute attention to every word that they say? So you got a frenemy relationship. You got a best friend enemy relationship with your inner critic, with your inner voice that ain't you, that you've been identifying as. So how would it feel if someone outside really started talking to you the way that your inner voice does? How would you relate to a person who opened their mouth to say everything that your mental voice says? After a very short period of time, you would tell them to leave and never come back. But when your inner friend continuously speaks up, you don't ever tell it to leave. No matter how much trouble it causes you, you listen. Betrayal much? You wonder why you feel betrayed all the time? Because you're not listening to you, you're listening to the voice. That's not you. You're attaching the thoughts that aren't you. You're taking action from that place of lack and scarcity and fear because you're moving based on those thoughts. That ain't you. It's your inner critic, ain't you. There's almost nothing that that voice can say that you don't pay full attention to because it sounds like you, so you thought it was you. It pulls you right out of whatever you're doing. Take a deep breath. I feel that tension right here. Whoever that is, it's feeling it right here, and it just felt like a bar that went across. Come on, let's breathe through it. You're good. Come on. You got this. Just breathe. You don't have to figure out the solution. Just breathe. Quit trying to figure out how you're going to do it. Just breathe. That's your only job. Your only job is to breathe and choose your thoughts and accept them. Breathe, choose your thoughts, and accept them. Stop going into the panic. Just listen. Okay, are we ready? One more. That's right. Reassure yourself. I got this. Good job. All right. See that it just did it. It pulls you out of whatever you're doing, no matter how enjoyable, and suddenly you're paying attention to whatever it has to say. Imagine that you're in a serious relationship and you're about to get married. You're driving to the wedding and it says, maybe this isn't the right person. I'm getting really nervous about this. What should I do? If someone outside of you said that, you would ignore them. But you feel you owe this voice an answer. You have to convince your nervous mind that this is the right person, or it won't let you walk down the aisle. That's how much respect you have for this neurotic thing inside of you. You know that if you don't listen to it, it will bother you every day of your life. I told you not to get married. I said it wasn't sure. I said I wasn't sure. The bottom line is undeniable. If somehow that voice managed to manifest in a body outside of you and you had to take it with you everywhere you went, you would not last a day. If somebody were to ask you what your new friend is like, you'd say, this one is seriously disturbed. It's like they a disturbed person. Just look up neurosis in the dictionary. You'll get the picture. That being the case, once you've spent a day with your friend, what's the probability that you'd go to them for advice? It's freedom right here. Pay attention. After seeing how often this person has changed their mind, how conflicted they were on so many subjects, and how emotionally overreactive they tended to be, would you ever ask them for relationship or financial advice? As amazing as it seems, you do that every moment of your life. Having taken its rightful place back inside of you, is still the same person who tells you what to do about every aspect of your life. Have you ever bothered to check its credentials? How many times has that voice been completely and totally wrong? She doesn't care for you anymore. That's why she hasn't called. She's going to break up with you tonight. I can feel it coming. I just know it. You shouldn't even answer the phone if she calls. Then the panic just set in for all of those insecure, anxious attachment styles. You were just triggered. After 30 minutes of this, the phone rings and it's your girlfriend. She's late because it's your 1-year anniversary, and she was picking up a surprise dinner, or preparing a surprise dinner. It was definitely a surprise to you, since you completely forgot about the anniversary. She says she's on her way to pick you up. Well, you're very excited, and your inner voice is chanting or chatting about how great she is. But haven't you forgotten something? Haven't you forgot about the bad advice that it gave you, that voice gave you just a little bit ago, that caused you to suffer for the last half hour? So what if you'd hired a relationship advisor who had given you that terrible advice? They completely misread the entire situation. Had you listened to that advisor, you never would have picked up the phone. Wouldn't you fire them on the spot? How could you ever trust their advice again after seeing how wrong they were? Well, if you're going to fire your inner roommate, then, aren't you? Because after all, its advice and analysis of the situation were totally wrong. No, you never hold it responsible, though. Not for the trouble that it causes. In fact, the next time it gives advice, you're all ears. Is that rational? How many times has a voice been wrong about what it was going on or what will be going on? How many different scenarios have you played out in your mind? So maybe it's worth noticing whom you're going to advice for. See, it's about going to your source. Get it from the source. How do I plug into source and get it from source if I'm not listening to my intuition? Because I think my intuition is my inner voice. No, your intuition is your emotional guidance system. It's your inner guidance system. Your intuition is the feeling that you get that is telling you whether or not the thought that you just chose to latch onto is in alignment with your highest self and going to get you on the path that is going to take you where you want to go, or if you've just hit a pothole. So when you're asking for advice, the advice is, Spirit, help. Help me understand how to move in this situation. You're setting your intention. You're surrendering your will, your mind, will, thoughts, emotions. That's your will. And you're allowing yourself to focus on the breath and be present without any thoughts, and allowing the information to then be able to be dropped in because you plugged into source. It flows through source into you and then through you into your reality, because you then know how to take the inspired action, because you got it, because you paused. You didn't ask for advice from the internal voices, the thoughts, the different thoughts that are presenting themselves to you. It's just options. They're just clouds in the sky. Are y'all following? Are we good? Are we good? I need to see those likes go up, y'all. Come on, let's get those up. All right, so when you've sincerely tried these practices of self-observation and awareness, you'll see that you're in trouble. You'll realize that you've only had one problem your entire life, and you're looking at it. It's pretty much the cause of every problem you've ever had. Now, the question becomes, how do you get rid of this internal troublemaker? The first thing you'll realize is that there's no hope of getting rid of it until you truly, really want to. Until you've watched your inner roommate long enough to truly understand the predicament that you're in, you really have no basis for practices that help you deal with the mind. Once you've made the decision to free yourself from the mental melodrama, then you're ready for teachings and techniques. You'll now have a real use for them. You'll be relieved to know that you're not the first person to have this problem, and there are those who have gone before you who have found themselves in the same situation. Many of them looked for guidance from those who had mastered this field of knowledge. They were given teachings and techniques such as yoga, which were created to help in this process. Yoga is not really about getting your body healthy, although it does for that too. Yoga is about the knowledge that will help you out of your predicament, the knowledge that can free you. Once you've made this freedom from the meaning of your, once you've made this freedom the meaning of your life, your purpose, your freedom, then there are spiritual practices that can help you. These practices are what you do with your time in order to free yourself from yourself. You will eventually catch on that you have to distance yourself from your psyche. You do this by setting the direction of your life when you're clear and not letting the wavering mind deter you. Your will is stronger than the habit of listening to the voice. There is nothing you can't do. Your will is supreme over everything. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to free yourself, you must first become conscious enough to understand your predicament. Then you must commit yourself to the inner work of freedom. You do this as though your life depended upon it, because it does. And as of right now, your life is not your own. It belongs to that inner roommate right now, the psyche. You have to take it back. Stand firm in the seat of the witness. Release the hold that the habitual mind has on you. This is your life, so reclaim it. Now, my friends, it's chapter 2 of The Untethered Soul. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time to read chapter 3 on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So pick us up wherever you find us. How does that resonate? Like I told y'all, this chapter, I had literally almost the whole chapter highlighted. Like it was such good knowledge. What's your takeaway from today? What's your walk away? What's your application? What are you going to do? What's our focus? So we're realizing we have an inner roommate. It's an inner voice. It's not us, just like we have a physical body. It's not us. It's something we're utilizing. It's a tool. So we can utilize this voice by choosing the thoughts we want to latch onto and say, I want to go with this one. This one feels good to me, rather than always listening to the incessant chatter and the conflict, the conflicting thoughts and the judgment. There doesn't need to be any judgment of this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. You're constantly doing that. This is cold, this is hot. What's the point? The point is so that you can have some sort of reality within yourself, because you're afraid to create in the reality outside of you, because everything within you is chaos. And you know that's going to create chaos in your outer reality. So if you can somehow bring it back into your mind and reframe it and think about it differently and rework it in your brain and replay it and play out the 50 different ways it could have gone, instead of actually living in the current reality, then somehow you think you have control because you feel like you're somehow changing that. But you're not. You're trapping yourself. You're missing out on your present reality, and you're in your head. If you could visualize yourself as, like, there was this movie one day that came out, it was literally talking about all of us, but it was like where they started like living in this super futuristic society, and they all of a sudden everybody was on their phones and their little recliners would move them around and shit, and everybody got like super obese and stuff because they're not here. They're not actively in their present moment, enjoying their present company, which you are your present company if you are alone, enjoying your own company and being present, enjoying what's happening in the reality that is the ever-present gift for you, so that you can experience what's happening in your reality. Instead, you're zoned out on your phone trying to engage with everyone else's reality because somehow that makes you feel better, because if you're focused on that, you're avoiding feeling what's going on in here if you can constantly change the external. But see, you've just been spinning around as like a tornado on the inside, and occasionally getting your tornado mixed up with somebody else's tornado, and then it becomes a tsunami and hurricane, and it destroys everyone and everything in the process. And then you isolate and you try to go back into your healing, you think, right? But are you actually doing the work, or are you just sitting in your mind and waiting until you just are bored enough and isolated and alone enough that you want to reinsert yourself into society, and then your tornado is still spiraling, and you go get it with another tornado, and then you create another tsunami and another problem? See, this is what we're talking about. Is go within, find the peace within through stopping attaching to all of those thoughts, stopping realizing that, or realizing and stopping the thing of I am my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I'm not my body. I'm not my emotions. But those are all tools and a guidance system for me to be able to find myself, to plug into source, God, source, universe, right? G-U-S, Gus, God, universe, source. However you want to call it, it's you. It's your higher self. Wherever you're at in your journey, whatever level of understanding and awareness that you have, great. Run with it. Tap in. How do you tap in? Through your breath. Peace and the release. Releasing the attachment. Where there's resistance or clinging, there cannot be flow. There will be chaos, confusion, disorder, dis-ease, sickness in your body, stress in your life, chaos in your reality. Because your outer reality reflects the inner. It's created from here. You can look at the CIA documents. It's released. The Gateway Experience. The Gateway Project, excuse me. You can go on YouTube and you can experience it. Transcendental meditation. You can set yourself free. This is how you do it. You get out of your mind and get into your heart. You're not your thoughts. And you're going to feel like, holy fuck. What the hell? Because all my life, that's all I've identified as. I thought that was me. I thought I was just like chaos inside. I thought I just always thought that way. No, those are just choices. You're at a buffet. You get to choose what you want to eat. You want chicken and corn and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and rolls today? You want to go for fish today? What you want today? Choose it. That's what this book is teaching us. How to get out of our head, get into our heart, connect back to who we truly are, be untethered, unattached, unbothered by anything external to us. That we're so okay within ourselves here that everything is okay out there. That we're at peace within here. We're not in internal conflict here, so we're not seeing external conflict out here. There's no necessary. There's no need. There's no internal, or there's no external enemy if there's no internal enemy. Stop fighting with yourself. It's not you. You don't have to fight it either. You can just stop paying it any mind. It's costing you. And it's costing you your peace, which is way too damn much. My peace doesn't pay for that. That currency doesn't work there. So I don't just give it. If you no, I'm gonna protect my peace. So I'm not gonna put my energy there. I'm not gonna invest my energy there. Does that make sense? Y'all with me? Y'all like it? All right. So we're a little bit over because we started a little bit over, but we're good. By the way, it is about to be 111 new beginnings. New beginnings. All right. So I'm gonna pop off of YouTube and Instagram. If y'all want to come join me over on TikTok. What up, Mercury retrograde? If you want to come join me on TikTok, you can come join me over there. I'm going to do free yes or no questions for followers. And then also discount reads on live. So 22.22 for a quickie, which is 4 cards, 55.55 for go deeper, which is 11 cards, or 77.77 for a ancestral secrets or generational chain breaker reading, which is going to be 5 segments, give you everything you need to know, generations back, 14 generations back, which are generational secrets, the things you came to break, the things you came to heal, the things that you have inherently within you that are going to help you be successful in this lifetime, the things that you can hear from your ancestors on the other side about what you're currently going through and what's your next big breakthrough. Then we also have the year in review reading, and that is going to be starting today all the way into the next year, this time next year. Let's go month by month. So you're going to give her overall energy of what's you're experiencing, what you're healing, your growth, your lessons are going to be for the next year, and then month by month what's happening so you can deal with it, okay? Those are our favorite readings. I love those. And then we also have the 9999 for mediumship, mentorship, or intuitive conversations or healing session online. Okay. So 15 minutes one-on-one, you get to come online with me and we work through whatever you're going through. We can talk to the past loved ones on the other side, channel those for you, or we can do a life coaching session where you want to work through a specific situation. We work through it online. Okay. So come join me over on TikTok. I'll see you over there. So bye IG and bye YouTube. And what's up, TikTok? What's up?